Welcome, horror fam, to HHN 365, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. My name is Mike, and as always, I'm here with my co-hosts Duff, Jess, and Jonathan. How is it going, guys? We got some official announcements to go over.
I'm feeling
Yeah, it's
a little
exciting.
orange, I think.
Yeah.
We're not doing that already. We're gonna get into that later.
We'll get to it. On today's show, we will be going over the official announcement, as well as some news and rumors. A lot of stuff we just haven't covered in the last couple of weeks. But before we get to that, as always, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and YouTube at HHN365 and on TikTok at HHN365pod. We have an amazing Discord community. The link is in the description. And we have a merch shop you should keep an eye on at HHN365.com. You can always leave us a voicemail and we'll try to play it on the show at 407-906-4134. Let's get into it. We have some 365 news. We have an event coming up. Let's talk about it.
Oh, we sure do. We have our springtime HHN live trivia, as we've already announced. But this is going to be the final time you hear us talk about it before it actually happens, because it is this week, going to be Saturday, April 13th, starting at 7 p.m. I would like to stress that you want to get there early. It has doubled capacity, but we were still at capacity an hour before last time. So I'd say with the expanded capacity, maybe we could comfortably say 6:30, 6:15, you should get a spot. But
Yeah.
it is still, it gets busy from what we've seen in the past. So please show up early if you want to guarantee a seat. There is also some standing capacity as well, but obviously a seat's a little bit better of an experience for you.
Yeah,
But
and we've kind of plussed it up.
yes,
We've added some
yes.
bling to it.
So, as a reminder, in general, again, double the capacity at Half Barrel, but also they have a full kitchen now. With that full kitchen, we are going to have a specialty menu. This is going to include a fried peanut butter and jelly that is, of course, tossed or not tossed, topped with a hot honey and chili flakes. You may know that item from HHN. It's been there a few times. A few other HHN inspired menu items. Some good shareables like specialty nachos, some sliders, empanadas. We'll have the full menu out before the event, but it's going to be a special menu just for this event, as well as some other things. There's going to be wings and other stuff that they always do. So, full kitchen, double capacity. We are also going to have a costume contest this time. Dress up as your favorite HHN character. If you are a cosplayer, you should come in and win a prize. It shouldn't be difficult for you. We'd love to see it. And then, of course, as we like to do, we will have a specialty beer. It is going to be Oddfellows Elixir. It is delicious. We've already had it. It looks beautiful. This lovely dark green. It's going to be a mango and blue raspberry sour.
Sounds
So, yeah.
absolutely delicious.
Yeah, I think
So
everyone's going to
good.
truly enjoy the beer, truly enjoy the food. The trivia is always great. Costume contest now. Double the capacity. I mean, what else could you want? So please join us. April 13th, 7 p.m. That's this Saturday. We'll be there. Again, show up like 6:30 at the very latest because spots will be limited. And again, this is at Half Barrel Beer Project, just a few miles down the road from the Universal Orlando Resort, directly across from Epic Universe. It's 9650 Universal Boulevard, 143, Orlando, Florida, 32819. So hope to see you there.
Yeah, come drink some delicious beer, eat some delicious food, and play some trivia.
It's going to be crazy. You won't hear the questions because I'll be gnawing on the food like, HHN 25.
Well, that's okay because this time, as long as it works out, we're actually going to have some picture trivia. We're going to be
Yes.
using the screens.
We will be using the big screen TVs. Don't worry, you'll be able to see them from everywhere to go along with every question, which means we're not just doing questions that we are reading out, but questions that will be physical and maybe audio questions as well. We'll see. We'll see. Don't want to give everything away.
Yeah. All right. Well, what's next on the docket?
Yeah.
Nose.
Yeah, we're gonna hop right into the news and rumors, but we'll just stick with news for now. And the way I organize this is we just have the normal park news in the front, and then all the HHN stuff goes at the bottom. But don't worry, the park news does have some cool ties with tribute stores and HHN and all that good stuff. But let's start with the first thing that kind of just happened at the end of or beginning of this week, and that is Mardi Gras has concluded for the year. It is officially over, until next year, and you know what that means.
Baron Tauntaun's feet have failed him.
I mean, I guess. But the next major event for Universal Studios Florida is going to end up being. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, Grad Bash." No, I don't call. No, it's Halloween Horror Nights. That's the next one. So yeah.
It's true, but we do have a
Close.
nice tribute store coming our way before that. It would seem so.
We do.
We have things to look forward to because it's still, man. What are we at? Like 4.5, almost 5 months still till the event.
Yeah, we still got a bit.
We're under 5 months, so that's
Yeah.
something. We'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah.
But there's also something not in the same park, but across the way at Islands of Adventure that is very HHN related, even though they wiped the HHN-ishness off of it. And that's the Dueling Dragons Choose Thy Fate merch that you would have seen at HHN 32 is now available at Islands of Adventure. And they literally just took the Halloween Horror Nights references off and called it a day.
Yeah, it's a weird move. Does anyone else think this is kind of a strange move? Like the
Yes.
attraction's been gone for a while.
Yeah.
Of course, I think it's weird, Mike.
Weird, yes. Somewhat smart, maybe. And they must have been somewhat confident because not only did they do the shirt, they did the accompanying poster and glass. And it now has a hoodie as well. So they must be pretty confident in this line. And some people do seem excited about it. Maybe they missed their shot at getting it at the event. I don't know. But
Yeah, or
Hey.
they're just coaster fans. There might be people that
Yeah,
aren't
true.
HHN fans.
don't give a
There's
shit about HHN.
a lot of people who missed that coaster or didn't get that credit. And I get it, but also like as someone who obviously like I always talk about merch, I'm big into merch. Used to work in that field, like it's just lazy, but I also get it because they already had it made. They didn't have to pay an artist to do it. And here now they have merch for like a vintage ride.
Yeah. And I mean, anytime Universal and Disney drop vintage merch like that of something that's long gone or just gone in general, it sells.
Oh,
It
people eat
does.
that shit up. Of
Yeah.
course. It's smart. I get it. I don't like it, but I get it.
Yeah, I'm
I
holding
already-
out for the 8 Voyages of Sinbad shirt.
Ooh, Mike will be the only 2 people in line.
Wait.
Hey, well, I will be online.
Oh, I'm sorry. 3 people in line
Jeez.
because Jonathan probably never saw that show, right?
Correct.
There we go. All right.
But
what's
yeah,
next?
go grab it before it sells out. Oh, sure.
Or they just keep printing it in the back. Let's move on to something new. We have a summer tribute store teases. Excuse me, is this in the current or the previous tribute store we saw?
Yeah, this is the previous one. So all
Okay.
the outlines you're gonna read say like, oh, there's new stuff now, but the
Gotcha.
tribute store already happened. So
Sorry, we're late. This episode was 2 weeks planning. So a new shark projection was added to the swamp scene in the tribute store. New props were added to the final room of the tribute store, including a Time Ghosts Again VHS tape, Mega Video Rental membership club cards, and Mega Castle arcade tickets, and potentially hinting to Jaws, Back to the Future, and Ghostbusters for the summer tribute store.
Blockbuster, the tribute store.
Hollywood Video is more my speed.
Mine too.
I mean, actually, that's where I went as a kid mainly.
Hey.
But the general public, they don't give a shit.
I know.
It's Blockbuster.
I know you guys are freaking out right now over this.
Yeah, I'm a little nerdy
Yeah.
about it. I gotta
Yeah.
say, there's some properties I enjoy quite a bit.
You don't say.
Also, not listed on here, but I saw it like literally just today or yesterday on Twitter, like after it had closed. It seemed like there was something referencing the Mummy too on that desk.
oh,
Duff, are
Yeah.
you moonlighting at Universal in like the design team and you didn't tell us? That seems
I
very
mean,
you.
Hey, I definitely would, but also would like to point out it is the 25th anniversary of the Mummy, the 99 The Mummy.
Ah.
So would make sense too.
aren't they even releasing it back in theaters for like a limited time?
And I will be there.
Hmm?
Yes.
Of course.
From the
Makes
mind
sense.
of Duff Mason, this summer, a tribute store like you've never seen.
I mean,
I
just don't
am-
go deeper into my mind at that age.
I am interested because if obviously these are all guesses at this point, we don't know what the summer tribute store is actually going to be, completely. But all of these things have been in previous tribute stores before. Jaws, Back to the Future were both in the summer tribute store before 31, and Ghostbusters was in 29. Though obviously was not during that time. The stores were not as like themed as they are now. But it is interesting that it looks like if they're going this route, every room will be something that we technically had before, and they'd have to take it like a different direction.
Unless the mummy's there.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, I mean, I think they're the big properties. They're going to come back all the time.
Absolutely.
We've already had 2 incarnations of Jurassic Park / World tribute stores, like fully. So,
Mhm.
But also, isn't this properties that are in the new parade? That's
That too.
supposed to be
Rumored,
launching
That-
in
right?
the summer.
Is
rumored
this a
to be in
rumored
the
parade?
rumored to be in the
Rumored
parade.
parade.
Yes.
Sorry, rumored. But yeah, like this would make sense. We have the summer tribute store alongside the parade that is rumored.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's true.
So
I'm
good.
excited about the parade. I really hope it happens.
Me too. We'll be front row.
Parade.
You'll see 365 right there.
Parade,
Yay.
tribute store. Give me all the fucking going back to buying up retro shit. Give me all the retro shit.
All right, so are we ready to move on to some construction, HHN construction, specifically in HHN Hollywood? So we're going to go all the way to California, and yes, there was construction. There has been a lot of construction since we last talked, and yeah, all the pictures that we're going to be talking about, actually 2 of them, the 2 first points we're going to be talking about are on our Twitter and Instagram if you want to follow along, and they were taken by our friend Kevin, who graciously went on the tram and got pictures for us, which is awesome. So thank you for that. And we'll start talking about one of the most interesting ones that I know I sent you guys the pictures like on our so like if you can pull that up because I think it's like really cool. But a facade is being built for one of the H lot tents. I know they have numbers. I don't remember which one is which. So we'll just say one of them. And it's very wide and large, and if you look at the picture, like has so many intricate details already on it. Like you can see windows and stuff in some areas of the facade that are sort of like built outward. And I want to know, like, what is your first thought on like what this could be? Because this is definitely looking like some sort of building. Like there's something with windows. Something's happening here. Something's starting to take shape.
Chucky, an even more ultimate kill count.
Oh God.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I was gonna say a 2-story mausoleum.
Oh, I don't know. It looks like Chucky to me because all the little boxes. I know that's just flats, but that's immediately where my brain went.
So I can tell you what it seems like our Discord and a lot of other Discords are looking at this picture think. There seems to be like 2 ideas, and it's definitely because the rumors floating. So once you hear rumors, you start trying to plug the rumors into what you're seeing and seeing if they connect. But the first thing people were saying was because Nightmare on Elm Street is a rumor currently, was the Elm Street house. But the one thing that I've pointed out and a lot of other people pointed out is that the middle section there seems too large for it. Like it seems too wide. Like there's a whole section in the middle that has nothing there like currently. So like even though both of the other sides look like what seems to be windows, which granted on the Elm Street house itself there is like 3 windows on the left and 3 windows on the right, but the middle section isn't as wide as it would be. With this facade in particular, unless they're taking like a different route with it.
Yeah, how tight those windows are versus how much space is in the middle. That would be a very wonky build of a house if they were trying to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Cut to Midsummer Scream, where John Murdy is shading both of you and be like, I had listened to a podcast where he said there's no way it could be this, and it turned out to be it.
Mike, if Murdy listens to our podcast, that is the least thing on the list that I'm worried about that has come out of any of our mouths.
That's
You never heard of a wide door house before?
God.
It's the new 2-story mausoleum.
It is.
Wide doored house.
I'm gonna put that on a shirt. Wide doored house.
Another thing that people were thinking about, also related to Nightmare on Elm Street, was how they had, I think it was the Freddy versus Jason house they had over there that had like the Craven Industries like factory
Yeah.
facade. That's another thing people are thinking. And the other one was what you guys said. People were like, oh, it could be Chucky too. It could be like either the toy store or from the Child's Play 1 or the factory or something like that. Those seem to be the rumors that like I have personally seen.
I have no guess, but I will say I'm excited that there is a facade this big in Hollywood.
Yeah. I know we were like assuming like because we saw I remember like the previous episode we saw the tent like get rotated from what it usually is, and it's like, does that mean the facade's gonna be a lot bigger? And it is. It absolutely is.
Came
Like
true.
the pictures the pictures that are shown do not like do it justice, because like Kevin who took the pictures like went to me was like, you don't understand how big this thing is in person. Like it looks absolutely massive. So I'm so excited for it.
As you mentioned, though, there's a lot of construction in Hollywood, so we can keep moving on to further construction. Where if we go to the Mummy Tent location, there's another fucking facade popping up already.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, it's very base level facade construction going on. However, if you remember last year, this is where The Last of Us was, and it kind of had that like space out front, right? Like you had the facade, but then there was like basically a set in front of the facade. It looks
Mm-hmm.
like this is kind of shaping up to have that same kind of space going on, which is
Yeah.
fun because I think honestly, if not the best, like a top 3 moment of that house by far.
I mean, I have to agree. Like that honestly, that in my opinion, that scene alone was my favorite part of the house, because that was like their interactions and walking by them. It just felt so The Last of Us. Like you were so in the game. Like that was my favorite implementation of like Joel and Ellie interacting right there, because the whole goal is to like get you sort of like prepared and like dropped into the world, because you're just entering a tent. Like you got to get immersed somehow, and I think that did it perfectly for
Mhm.
that house.
Yeah, that scene was good. That scene was actually pretty good.
And before you ask, I have no idea what this is. It's literally the very base level of a facade. Like it's just kind of wood is now up and vertical with no real noticeable shape or features going on.
What was on the spec map for both of this one and the last one we were talking about? Do we know?
Uh,
No.
Okay. I'm just curious. And I don't know the map. Like, I can't look at the map and tell you locations. So I'm useless. We
Well,
all know.
let's go on
I
to the next piece of news, and
yeah.
Jonathan can look at it.
Okay.
In the meantime,
It looks like also at Hollywood, the T-pad tent is now constructed and up.
Yeah.
Yep.
nice.
I mean, I think that's about it. Nothing else noticeable
Yeah.
about it. It's like the tent itself is
What's the
just up.
T-pad? Where was that?
That's like Holidays in
Hell
Hell,
yeah.
Okay.
Killer Clowns.
All right, cool. The one next to the soundstage.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you. I told you I will never understand locations in Hollywood. I am so bad at maps. It's useless.
Well, their locations also change all the fucking time.
Well,
They
there we
reset every few years, so there's no purpose
I
in
know.
remembering them anyways.
I know where the Parisian courtyard is because
Well-
that's usually my favorite house.
Supposedly get ready to say goodbye to that anyways.
Oh,
So
Oh no.
But the 2-story mausoleum, how will we one up it with a 3-story
I
mausoleum?
mean, hey, if we get it this year, the 3 stories in play. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Go out with a bang. 5-story mausoleum.
Oh my god. At that point, I think it's just an apartment building
Pretty much.
for the dead, but
Evil Dead Rise.
wow, you're welcome. All right, shall we go to Orlando?
Let's do it.
I'd like that, yeah.
I mean, we're all already here, so Fast and Furious outside tents are now up. Tents, was it always? It was always 2.
I think it was multiple. Yeah, it was multiple
Okay.
tents.
Yep.
I was making sure. All right, is it bigger?
So the one difference I've seen, I think people have said like it's technically a little bigger, though I'm not like I don't think there's too much of a difference with that sizing. But the thing I noticed being in the park is that it seemed like, and my eyes could be tricking me. I could just be wrong, like I don't know. But it looked like the last tent before you exit the house seemed a little closer to the exit than it usually is. Which is interesting. I don't know what that would mean, or if it's just there like for now for like construction purposes, but yeah, it's definitely closer, which is strange.
Which one's rumored to be here? This one we probably know
Unknown
about, don't we?
IP.
Unknown IP.
This is
Gotcha.
the unknown one. But this was also rumored to be a bigger house because of the potential closure in August for the ride. Also, I don't know if they would just move a tent at the last second. I think that those are kind of like constructed to be solid.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They don't just
So
move.
if it's
It would have to be
closer,
very extreme for them to move it,
yeah,
and
that
they
seems
could like do nothing inside. Obviously, like once stuff's up inside, you ain't moving shit.
right. So,
What's also interesting about this construction is the inside queue currently has not been walled up yet because, for Fast and Furious locations, there's the inside queue portion, then there's the outside portion with the tents. Usually, the past 2 years, the inside queue was walled off first. And this is the first year where it's the opposite, where the tents were put up first. So that's interesting.
Now that's at the 365 curse. When this gets posted,
They will
work will
close
be
the queue.
done in the morning.
Exactly.
They will
So-
close the queue. But also, maybe that they found a way to only do work in the tents, and then they are going to close the whole attraction and have like a couple week overhaul, and do what they need to do, and then it's ready. Maybe they've got it down to a science.
Well,
I
that
hope so.
definitely wouldn't be an August 11th 3-house tour option then.
No. I was not counting on it to have really any IPs except monsters for August 11th, because that like is crazy.
Yeah.
They're never we're not getting into that right now. I'll wait. I'm holding my breath.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
that's
no,
one
we haven't talked
definitely
about. Oh no,
Yeah.
what?
No,
August?
hold
What?
on.
Oh
Spoiler alert. Like they haven't heard it a week ago from other people.
no.
And also, a bit of Orlando news. It has been leaked on Twitter by team members that internal character HHN auditions are now open. So if that applies to you, make sure you apply.
Hell yeah! Good luck to anyone who does.
Absolutely. Also, I looked back because we had a question about it before of what the mummy tent was in Hollywood.
Mhm.
Like rumored to be that on the Horror Night Nightmares map had the sound symbol.
Mhm.
So people were guessing either Quiet Place or Silent Hill for that. But yeah,
Oh, I mean, Quiet Place aesthetically very similar to The Last
Mhm.
of Us. So,
true.
just saying.
All right, let's start talking about some rumors. There are some rumors floating around about some of the filling in these gaps on the map.
There are. So the two main things floating around right now, coming from multiple insiders, are going to be Insidious and a female Universal Monsters house of some sort. We've heard it listed in multiple ways, but the one factor that's always the same is that it's a female-led Universal Monsters house.
I want to cut the audio from a couple weeks ago where I said, what if we got another female monster house a la Bride?
You did say that.
I will lose my fucking mind.
What we've just learned is Jess is the secret insider.
So you're doing the tribute stories and I'm doing the houses?
I guess so. Hey, I'm down.
Hey, we should. How many times have we been wrong? No, I'm gonna talk first. I'm sorry. What the fuck? Universal Monsters female? I don't care about Insidious. That could obviously be like the unknown IP. I think we did talk about that too, though. Like it being, or maybe I said The Conjuring. I think I said The Conjuring.
I don't remember Insidious being said.
No, maybe we didn't. It came up as like a weird rumor, as like a mix in Blumhouse
Yeah.
before. But I don't remember if we talked about it. Anyways, go ahead.
But that new movie was last year, wasn't it? Or is it this year?
It was last year.
So, I mean, whatever. It's a possibility, but I think it's kind of late for that. But a female Universal Monsters house, if we're waiting to do Creature, I will sit down and gladly eat this up with a spoon.
I mean, yeah, however it comes, first of all, it's going to be something unique and different. And we always wonder how long can they drag this on, this Universal Monsters universe, without really having to repeat stuff? Well,
Forever.
Here you go. Here's an option.
Forever. It could be like the Scream Queens out in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It could just be the daughters or the female version of XYZ, or we could just gender bend all the monster stories completely.
Yep.
That would be cool.
Wicked divas.
Why do you gotta ruin everything? Let me
It's a
have
skill
one.
I have.
Oh God, someone that's not Dove, please don't.
They have nothing to say, but wicked divas.
Wow. Cool. Okay. Cool. I quit.
I would be really excited for this. Not 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 Insidious, but the female Universal Monsters has. I think it'd be really cool because, uh, Bride was also is still my favorite Monsters house, and like I think this could be really good. And there's a lot of different ways they can take it. So I would be totally excited for this.
I oh, I would be very excited for this, but also to speak on Insidious, that is a property that's very intense and can make a scary ass house. So whether that is solo or in like a Blumhouse combination, however it may come, I think it is a property that can always kind of work.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would prefer that they didn't just do Insidious. It could be a mashup, it could be the new film, whatever. But it is a property that lends itself to being very scary at a haunt.
Oh yeah, and in 27, the Blumhouse house, that is like the best Blumhouse that they've done, and that was Insidious and whatever. And I think that it works in that
Mhm.
setting, and I could see it working by itself, but I would rather, I think, see a mashup. I think that just kind of seeing like maybe Blumhouse's hits from the last year or two, since we've
It
had
was
very focused ones.
Purge, Sinister, and Insidious. Correct me if I'm wrong,
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
right?
correct.
Yeah, and that was the Purge part got modified because of the Las Vegas.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
So,
Enjoy of all Blumhouse's hits from this year, such as uh,
yep.
nothing.
Ooh, oh, I watched Night Swim last night.
Imaginary, right?
Jesus Christ, that was
You
so
watched what?
bad.
Was
Night
it?
Swim,
Oh,
it
nice.
was
Yeah.
terrible.
It looked bad.
So bad.
It looked like a bad version of what was it? The Lady in the Water, the Lady in
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
and I
yeah.
liked that one a
No,
lot.
you wouldn't like it. It was not. It didn't have
Yeah.
many redeeming qualities, if any. I used to be a Blumhouse defender, and I am very quickly losing that because they're putting out a lot of bad recently. A
Yeah.
lot of bad.
You're lucky you haven't seen Imaginary yet.
I will, because I just want to. I want to see how bad it's getting. So I will.
I don't I don't know. Like the reason I'm like I wouldn't be too excited for Insidious. Like I do think on a base level, it's been proven to work. Insidious would work as a haunted house. Like it's just it has all the pieces to work for a haunted house. Like it's just that type of movie. It works. I've never seen one yet, but I know other people from like the standalone house and the Blumhouse house. Like people like Insidious in general. I just don't. I've only watched the first one, and I don't like it at all. Like so that's why I have like sort of bias against it. I think it's just like a lazy version of Poltergeist. They just went like, let's do Poltergeist again, but not make you care about any of the characters. And like, all right, um, but like if it does end up coming and this rumor ends up true, I do think it still like probably no matter what will be like at least a good house, no matter what, just because of the imagery the films have.
Yeah, it is slim pickings when it comes to other Blumhouse. We have Speak No Evil coming out on September 13th, 2024. And then we have Wolfman not all the way up until 2025.
Yeah, that got
So,
delayed recently. It could have worked potentially if it came out this year like it was originally supposed to, but yeah.
but yeah, so that would leave basically what, like, you would have to go kind of to the well of some of these older ones, potentially, and, like Insidious. And
Hmm.
if you wanted to flesh this out to a Horrors of Blumhouse, unless you want to do something like Imaginary, which that was
Ugh.
not successful.
Ugh.
So
I know one of our mods would very much like Imaginary to come, but and probably our whole Discord server wants it to come on an ironic level, but
Well,
I
we're
don't
gonna
actually want
ban
it
the
to
entire
come.
server for those comments. Sorry.
Isn't it?
Any last? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Isn't it? This is my last comment on this. Isn't it wild that right now the Blumhouse film that's rumored to come to the event is Insidious and not Five Nights at Freddy's, and that Five Nights at Freddy's train in the rumor mill seems to have just gone away completely. But Insidious, like, all right, let's maybe do
Um,
Insidious instead.
it would if we didn't like kind of get to that point like a few months ago now. Like it's
That's
been a
true.
while since we've kind of come to that realization. Whether it's true or not, that's how the community feels. So, yeah, if it just kind of like disappeared out of nowhere and it became Insidious, I'd be like, what the fuck? But I think I've already fully settled on like I'm not expecting Five Nights, so it's just out of my mind at this point.
That
yeah,
makes sense.
Any last thoughts about the rumors or anything else we've discussed about news, anything like that before we get into what we're really here for?
Oh no, I'm ready.
All right. We got our first announcement. It
Woo!
happened. Is it a house? No. Is it anything except dates, tickets, and a shirt? Well, I guess
There were some surprises here.
and a
There's
coven.
there's
There were
surprises.
some surprises. I will say that.
There's a
Yes.
lot. It was a very loud, in
Oh.
more of the ways than one announcement.
It is.
Let's get
So,
into it.
anyways, this happened on Thursday, April 4th. Thursday, they're sticking to it, it seems. It's a decent day for announcements, I guess. It came with a video which had a bunch of Horror Nights B roll, as they typically do. And the way they kind of drew everyone in to question what they were alluding to was by showing a door. That's it. Yeah.
Is it the forbidden door in wrestling?
I don't know what that means.
That was for Mike.
Yeah, I giggled.
So all of Twitter and social media is wondering what's behind the door. We'll kind of skip by that for now. There's more important stuff because it came with dates, which are going to be August 30th through November 3rd, which is going to put us up to 48 nights. Basically, from when the event starts, the only days we will not have are going to be Mondays and Tuesdays, right from the beginning. And it's going to run all the way through a Friday to a final Sunday. So jam-packed 4 month. It touches a 4 month stretch. It's a little over 2 months total. Plenty of Horror Nights to go around this year.
Definitely.
They also like to reconfirm the 10 houses, 5 scare zones, and outrageous live entertainment.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the press release. This was something that went around. There was a press release for everyone. Had like a comment where it's like and after you're done with the houses, you can enjoy a horror night snack or like a live show. This and that, and people were like focused on I think it was a live show or and exciting show or something like that, and people went to say like, oh, that means there's only one show this year. I don't think that would confirm that or not. I think it does raise some questions because technically in the press releases they don't tend to say say it in sort of that way, when they refer to the shows or show or whatever. But I don't know if that's like a confirmation at all about like how many shows we might get if if there's one or two or however many we end up getting.
Yeah, I didn't read it that way because if that's the case, again, they did say like you can grab a snack. Is there only one single snack?
Right.
Right.
No.
Mhm.
They may
So
not
that-
even know at this point in
Yeah.
April.
I mean,
Exactly.
honestly, that's a strong possibility.
So they're
Yeah.
doing work on the lagoon, and that's like that's still up in the air. So I don't know.
It was also very common for them in the past when there was kind of every year it was like a different number of shows for them to not list the full amount of shows until like a much later announcement where we know what's coming to the event. Where it would say like they would say one show, and the next thing you know, we got 2 shows or 3 shows.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's happened a couple of times.
Many
The
times.
shows are the last things that are announced.
Yeah.
They're usually 2 weeks before
Mhm.
the event, and all of a sudden they just drop them all, and you're like, oh, we got 3 this year.
Yeah. They've also done it with houses. Like we've literally been
Mhm.
told 9 houses, and next thing we know, we have 10 houses at the event. Sometimes they just aren't ready to tell you these things. Sometimes they don't know these things. And with that wording, I don't think it's a confirmation that we only have one show.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
If I had to guess, I think it would just be one show, personally.
I think it's
But-
possible, for sure. I just don't think that's what they're saying here.
Are you guessing like one live show or just one show in general, Mike?
What do you think? There might be some
Like
other...
like if they're like technically like something like a lagoon show isn't like a live show.
I don't think the lagoon will be ready in time. I think we're probably stuck with one stage show. But who knows?
It makes sense.
Not even Universal. All right, let's talk about the fun thing too before we get into the details of the tickets. And that is the merchandise that was dropped. And it has people talking. That is for sure.
Polarizing is a good word.
It's a good word. The fun thing about it is it has a very specific aesthetic. but people don't know whether it's supposed to be 80s, 90s, 2000s. Everyone's settled on something different. If it
80s,
tells you
90s,
anything
or
You
about
sound
the
like
today.
a radio station.
Yeah,
Right? Playing the
80s,
top
90s, and
hits.
today's.
You're here with Duff.
Next, the power of love for my new. Anyways, so it came with a shirt. It came with a cup, like a tumbler, but not tumbler brand, and then also a hat. That same puffy trucker hat they've been doing for a couple of years now.
Mhm.
The tagline that comes on this merch is "Where Horror Lives."
It's also on the website.
It is all, yeah. It's like just the tagline. They have it as the banner on websites, and they built actually a decent amount of imagery around this. Like if you think of that to see you on and see you in the fog, it was just kind of that logo plastered everywhere. They created several different designs to put on the announcement A-frame, to put in the windows, to put in the centerpieces, to put on the merch itself. Like it's all slightly different.
Yeah.
So they put a little more work into this, which is interesting. But what do we think about the merch itself?
I'm just glad they're letting us go alone this year.
Yeah, finally.
I'm a rule follower. It said never go alone.
The introverts are thriving now.
Yeah.
Mike, that's a really good point. They're finally not telling us what to do.
Right. Go alone. Don't go alone.
Never not maybe consider going alone. Yeah. I'm happy that tagline is nowhere on this right now. Was it in the video?
No, it's gone.
Oh my god, I could cry. Actually, I've changed my whole outlook on everything. I think I'm okay with this shirt because I don't have to fucking look at Never Go Alone.
I also think "Where Horror Lives" would be a cool tagline if it is the tagline at the end of the day. Obviously, last year, "See You in the Fog" was not a tagline, so this may not be a tagline, but the way they're using it is a bit different than last year, it seems, so it's possible.
Mhm.
Yeah, like the marketing might actually be centered around this. We'll see
Yeah.
when we get like a house announcement and all that, but
I
okay.
really like my, not to go on a tangent, but I
You're
just
good?
want to say that I really like my See You in the Fog shirt.
Oh, same.
Okay.
It
Yeah, the
is
shirt's
so
not bad.
soft and so comfortable. It is just like a perfect lounge around the house shirt.
Did you get the acid wash one for the preview or the one that came out during the season?
I think it was the one from the season. Yeah, because I didn't pick it up. I picked it up like on 40% off, like at the last night. But it's
Gotcha.
but it's very soft.
No, I like it. Okay. Okay. I don't know how to say this properly about this shirt. I'm happy we don't have just a black shirt, especially for an announcement for the first shirt of the season. I feel like it sets a precedent, and I love that. There's my positivity. The shirt is not for me, and that's okay. I don't wear neon. I prefer to have my neon in my hair, in my accessories, like as like a pop. I'm not gonna walk around in traffic cone orange. That's just me. I know there's a lot of people that love this, and I'm really happy for them. My main gripe is that the graphic is the Grad Bash graphic, just with skulls instead of boom boxes.
Yeah.
And that to me is so lazy when they've shown, specifically in the last 5 years, that they have some of the best graphic designers that can make amazing merchandise. And they're not letting them do that. And I think that for something like the announcement, the first one that sets the precedent, you need to let them cook. Give them something, give them one design, center the marketing around it. It could have been a badass 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010 skull. But this is giving Descendants, it's giving Warp Tour, it's giving When We Were Young, it's giving a decom. Like, it's just a little too convoluted for me. And like, hello, fellow kids. And I'm not a fan of that. It's like a millennial trying to relate with Gen Z. And I'm like, it's also not following any trends currently. And that's something that they've been trying to do is like follow the cool trends. So like 31 with, the moths and the Halloween and everything. I'm not getting that here.
Mm-hmm.
That's my main gripe. I'm excited to see everything else because I think that this starts like a nice trickle down effect and maybe we'll see more color and more fun things. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Can I chime in as like a Gen
for it.
Z?
Please.
I actually okay. I'm gonna talk what I thought about it before I saw Grad Bash because Grad Bash did kind of change my opinion on things a lot because I was like, oh okay. But before that just looking at the shirt itself, I like the design. I find it fun. It has definitely a lot of like, you can tell there's a lot of like heart in it. It's more, it's not just like your basic, blood and guts and it's Halloween Horror Nights, get ready. It's sort of fun. It's popping. It has color. I like that. I enjoy that in my in some of my shirts. Like some of my favorite Horror Night shirts are like, they're not exactly colorful, but like the ones that have more, I don't know, like cartoonish designs and are stuff that I can just kind of wear whenever, and I don't have to really worry about it having blood or a specific thing that I can't just walk around in without looking really weird unless I'm like at the parks or something. Um, so I do enjoy the design, and the orange, like from pictures, is really bad. Like the orange is very traffic cone esque. It's not great. Seeing it in person helped a lot. I still don't know if I would get it unless it was like on sale, but it definitely was less, I don't know, a potent orange
It was like
that
a pastel neon
No,
orange.
no, no, no. It was
Yeah.
just a brushed neon. I saw it in person. It did not help my opinion. If anything, it made the graphic look dull, in my opinion. Not to cut you off, Jonathan. And that was my
Nope.
issue. Because on the cup, it's on black. I don't want a black shirt. I'm not asking for that. But it looks so good on the black because it pops.
Pops so much more.
We should have done
So
a
Yeah.
much more.
contrasting color, not really like a complementary color.
I agree with that. Like if we're comparing the black to the orange, like while I don't mind the orange,
Hmm.
the black is so much better. Like I hate to say that, but like as someone who doesn't want another black shirt,
Yeah.
but the black is so much better.
But I get what you're saying. Like in person, it's not, it is neon, but it's not neon, but it's neon. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
ugh.
But yeah, after seeing the actual grad bash shirt that lots of people online have like put it, side by side, it's like, oh, it's kind of just the same shirt with a couple of changes, which like I get it, but it is not something I love for sure. But I am hoping that this aesthetic continues, but in the vein of like how I'm sure Duff, you're gonna bring that up too, like how the windows are and some of the other versions of the art that are swirling around. That seems like if they went in sort of that direction instead of here's the grad bash shirt but a little bit different, then I would really like new merch that is similar to this in the future. But yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm kind of in between you guys. So I feel like neither of these designs are personally for me. I don't think I would probably wear them. That being said, um, because I do like how different that this is. This is way different, both this shirt and the other design that they have out there. This is quite different than what we would normally get, and I find what we normally tend to get for HHN, at least up until the last couple of years, it was be quite the same and quite dull. That that white font with just and then it just has the year in red. Like that used to be the only logo we got. So
Hmm.
the fact that they are trying other things, so though that next year is going to be something even more different. While this fell flat for me, the fact that we have gone past kind of the same logo every year, and that we are now moving on to like last year, and we've moved on to we're going to try to do something each year. That excites me. So because I can suffer through a few misses if it means we're going to get something new every year.
Absolutely.
And
Mhm.
I'm kind of in line with you where I appreciate this shirt because it is almost definitely the most unique piece of merch we've ever received for HHN.
Hmm.
Right.
It is so far off what we're used to, and I feel like they've kind of gone out of their normal box recently, but this destroyed the box. It stepped on it, threw it in the trash. This is way off from what they normally do. And to be honest, I like it in concept. I don't think they nailed the execution. Again, going back to like, no one is saying specifically the same aesthetic for this thing. Some people are convinced pretty much the main thing is punk, but 80s, 90s, 2000s. Some people think it's more of a modern thing. It's like, well, if no one can even decide what it is, you kind of messed up
Hmm.
somewhere in defining exactly what's going on. Personally, for me, this is very much an early to mid 2000s. It
Yeah.
reminds me of
Yeah.
like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, American Wasteland, that kind of aesthetic. Very much like that early 2000s kind of anarchy vibe.
Yeah, that's immediately where I went to.
Green
Like,
Day of the early
yep,
2000s, like that
yep,
Yes.
kind of thing.
yep.
You know, hence why we use that in our
Simple
TikTok
Plan,
about it.
that type of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, leaning into emo, even if you will.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but to me, that's very much what the aesthetic is. But clearly, it didn't nail it because not everyone sees that. And some
Mhm.
people are very convinced it's something completely different. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they went for like 90s, but just kind of missed the mark and ended up with this. Because again, when you look at stuff that's not on the shirt and the merch, like stuff that's currently the window pieces or what was on the A frame for the merchandise reveal, the aesthetic is a little bit more consistent
Yeah.
and you can kind of see what they were going for, and it looked better, way better. And I was like, yeah, this aesthetic can work. They just have to nail it. And I don't think for the shirt and any of the merch for that matter, because they use the same exact look, I don't think they nailed it there, unfortunately. But again, I might buy this just because it's the most unique shirt we've ever had, and based off how people feel about it, that we may ever have.
Yeah. Well, if
I
I
th-
get it, I'm dyeing it like black dye or something. I'm doing
That
something.
probably look sick, to be honest.
Mhm.
just by saying this, I do think that I'm hopeful. Well, this missed. I'm hopeful that we're going to have a really good merch here because there's
Yeah.
something here that is
Mhm.
close to what I would buy. Not this particular thing, but if we stay in this realm, there's definitely going to be something that I like.
Like the skull with a mohawk as a zero, the eyeball as an O or a
Yes.
zero,
Yeah.
depending on it. Like
Uh
shit
huh.
like that is goofy. It's fun, and if you can rein it in and really give it a specific vision, it could be really good. Again, go
Yeah.
look at that window piece.
It's
It
Yeah.
knows what it wants to be, and it looks really good.
I prefer the merchandising aspect of it to the shirt. Like
Yeah.
everything you said, the window displays are so good. They know what they want to be, and then we have the shirt. Did y'all see how they dress those mannequins too?
Mhm.
Around the shirt. Why is homegirl wearing ripped jeans with like a fucking costume sparkle skirt over it with purple fishnet gloves on her arms? Like,
You want to know why? Because they combine the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
right.
And
They
that's why
went in
no
the
one knows
costume
what the
closet.
fuck is going on.
I just need them to reel it in, figure out what they're doing before we get a house announcement. So we're not just all going, is the theme orange? Is it skulls?
Yeah. Again, I think keep with the aesthetic. That is fine. I think it can work. Just work with different designs than what I'm seeing on that merch, and we're good to go, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think I feel like a lot of people the main complaint I've heard of this merch that's like I think the most I'm not gonna say unreasonable one, but the most interesting one is people looking at this merch and going, "This isn't horror. This is not what I want out of my Halloween Horror Nights. This isn't scary horror, anything in that realm." And I find that a little weird. Like I find that argument a little weird, especially when I think some of the best shirts that Horror Nights has had, you wouldn't necessarily like call horror. Like the Everyday is Halloween shirt. It's not scary or anything, but it's a fucking phenomenal shirt and phenomenal pieces
Mhm.
of merch. I don't think every piece of merch needs to have blood in it and guts and whatever, to be
Yeah.
considered like appropriate for the event. I think that argument is a little silly. That
It sounds
I've
like
seen
some
some
people
people
just
make.
want to go back to like the blood drip font on the front and a design on the back.
Some people don't like change, guys. They
Well,
don't
that
think
Hmm.
we
changed a
all
long
listen.
time ago. It's time to move on.
I know.
I
They're
mean, I
still
can't
living in
think.
2005.
I can't think of a last time I was terrified by an A-frame. Like I feel like that type of thing where it's like it's just too joyful or it's too playful. Like that doesn't necessarily because I mean it doesn't have to be everything doesn't have to be scary. Like you can have a little bit of fun. I mean that's what I loved about Bill and Ted so much. Like there was this element here or there that's just not all completely horror. And
Yeah.
I think it can work. This particular design just did not work for me.
Hmm.
All right. Any last things about the merchandise before we move on to where our wallets cry?
Not our wallets yet, but
Not yet. Not yet. But they will. Oh, it's going to
It
be so
will.
bad. It's going to be so bad.
This
I
is
hope
just
Um,
not.
yeah.
let's
This
get
is
into
leading up to
tickets.
that. This is
Tickets. We got single night, we got RIP, we got Unmasking the Horror, we got express passes, as we typically do in this first announcement. Let's just kind of rotate as a team through these. I guess I can kick us off with the first one here, and that is the most straightforward: the single night tickets. They're going to range from $82.99 to $122.99, so can get pricey, but not the biggest jump in the world. It's pretty similar to what we've been seeing over the past couple years, so nothing too crazy there.
next. We have express passes starting at $129.99, going all the way up to $239.99.
Oh my!
Ooh, what
Yeah,
were they
Uh,
this
last year?
this seems a little bit steeper than
This
I
is the
thought.
one that people are going crazy about on social media for sure. This is the steepest jump that we've seen.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, the price of a starting express pass costs more than like the range of single night
Yeah.
tickets.
It is more than the most expensive single night ticket to start.
Mhm.
That is crazy.
Yep. Well, if you don't want to pay for express, you could always get an RIP tour. Those are going to start at $359.99. They're going to go up to $469.99 depending on the night.
Yeah, and if you don't want to do a normal RIP tour and you want to go to the private, if you want to have a private tour, you can get a private RIP tour. You just got to contact Universal for prices. Those aren't available on the website. You got to call them.
And
that's
do
never
keep
a good sign.
no.
Never.
It's always been that way, but yeah, it's pricey. And do keep in mind for RIP tours, you do need to have separate park admission on top of that. So go back to the single night tickets first, then get your RIP.
Oof.
Yeah. Behind the Screams, Unmasking the Horror Tours. So, as usual, they will have 3 house and 6 house options. The cheapest 3 house will start at $99.99. The most expensive 6 house goes up to $209.99. So, they are pretty pricey, but not really a massive jump from last year overall. Here's the interesting thing this is 3 house only, but you can book a 3 house starting on August 11th.
Ooh.
This is
Yeah.
nearly 3 weeks before the event starts.
So here's my theory, guys. I think Taste of Terror was a flop.
Yeah.
Right? They
Yeah,
lost
for
a
sure.
lot of money, but there was something there that I think that whoever the powers that be was like, but vloggers, the reason why they did Taste of Terror of trying to get the vloggers there and trying to get hype, they're like, but there's an idea here that works. But so what do we have that could be like that, but isn't as expensive as Taste of Terror? I think that they put it together and said, well, we could do the behind the screams a couple weeks early to get hype and get the vloggers there and get hype going. And I think that's what they're trying to do here.
No, I 100% believe that's what it is. And it's going to take less staffing for them to do this than it would be to host that event.
Yeah.
The interesting thing, though, is that means they need to have 3 houses 100% finished, basically, by
No
August
crews.
11th.
Yeah, no crews doing final touches because that is a liability.
Uh-huh.
Can't do that with people in the houses. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. To me, I feel like we're gonna see some emails around, August between the 7th and the 10th of, we're so sorry we've rescheduled your tour for August at blah blah blah. Like, I hate to be a negative Nancy, but I
Yeah.
don't know if they've ever been like no final touches on a house 3 weeks before
Mm-hmm.
when they're not still doing
No,
walkthroughs and
no,
whatever.
because I mean, they typically do like Blood Night and stuff like that in one night, like
Yeah.
or across a couple at least, which is just shortly before team member preview typically. So the fact that they're going to have 3 houses completely done that far in advance, I, sometimes they struggle to get like houses done before the event starts. Period.
Right. I did not like the tents last year at preview. Sorry, Mike. So I'm worried.
Yeah, and I have to say, from a content creation standpoint, I don't think this is going to be in very engaging material. Like like the Taste of Terror was like, it was beautiful in there. It was the first time we were seeing some of this. The videos are gonna start out like, oh hey, we're going on, we're 3 weeks early, in a couple weeks Halloween Horror Nights coming. We're checking in. We can't actually film in the houses, so well, we just went through The Blumhouse one, that was great. Well, let's do the next one. It's not going to be engaging material because they can't actually film the entire time. They'll be able to take some pictures here or there, but a lot of people don't want to get spoiled. So I think this again, like Taste of Terror, this might blow up in their face. I don't know how many people are going to try to, you know, to go on these. A lot
This
of
is
people want to experience these the first night and then go.
this is definitely more of a blogger fit than a vlogger fit for sure, just by what
Yes.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I think we can start talking about what our opinions on this are. And with what Mike just said, I have zero interest in seeing a house with lights on before I experience the full thing in operation. Zero. So I'm going to spend 3 weeks avoiding social media and YouTube and blogs and everything. I do not want
Yeah.
to see big spoilers from these houses.
Radio silence for the next couple of weeks. Like once that releases, like, yeah.
Does anyone here have any interest? Would you? 365 related or not? Would you have any interest in doing this?
No.
No.
No, not me personally. I know like there are people that,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like I think this is awesome. There are people that are like, hey, this is like a super cool opportunity. You know, this is something that's never happened before, and I want to try it. And I think like people who want to do that like are totally valid. Like absolutely, I think that's a really cool thing for them to do. I think the problem becomes, and technically we don't know yet because this is like referenced as a limited, you know, sort of experience. So like we don't know exactly how these tours are going to go. What's going to be cameras on, cameras off type thing. If they're even going to allow cameras, so I think they're probably going to have to
Yeah, I
at
mean
some point.
they
But
didn't change the wording on that stuff. So like
yeah,
if
this
they
was
show
just in the
up and
press release. They said the limited thing,
yeah, if they show
but
up
not on
and
the
pictures
website
aren't
itself.
allowed, then people are going to be very upset.
Exactly. I mean, what if they do a thing where they're only like, you know, there's been some houses I've been like Last of Us where they're like, there's only 3 rooms you can take pictures, and you have to take pictures at these exact angles and whatever. What if they do that for all three? Um,
Again, unless they state that when you're buying it, I don't know that that's a fair solution because you expect it going into a normal unmasking the horror. Where yeah, of course that can change and a few things can update. But if it's like, hey, I only got to take 3 pictures in every house, but people who went to September in the same houses got 25 photo opportunities, I don't think you can do that, unfortunately, unless it's stated ahead of time, which it was not.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. So like if this is just straight up a normal tour and everyone can take, you know, besides maybe one IP house if they have one, you know, like however many pictures in the other house, there's going to be so many spoilers online for people who just like want to be like, you know, for people who don't know any better, you know, cuz you know, this might be their first thing they're ever doing HHN and they don't know that you shouldn't post this stuff. But for other people who are like, hey, I want to be first, here's all the stuff, and throws it online, you know, the you know, bloggers and whatnot. It's just going to be so annoying for people who don't hold those pictures until the event actually starts. Like, because I don't want, like, you know, I don't want to look at any of that stuff. I don't want to see any of that stuff. Seeing things before like I go through the house hurts my experience. The Hill House facade is a great facade, fantastic, but Universal released a high quality image of it before the event started. And so when I saw it for the first time, I'm still like, wow, this is cool, but I did not get the same awe that I would if I just didn't see that picture beforehand. And if so, I think the same would apply with the unmasking photos. Like I don't love this. I really don't.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are excited. I think it is a cool opportunity for those who have a draw to it. I would just say please don't like post it like directly as a tweet with a bunch of photos because the whole
They're going
scroll
to.
down thing
They're
doesn't
going to.
work. Scroll past it doesn't work.
First mentality.
Put it
Yeah.
in like your Instagram stories with a warning. Put it deep in a thread in Twitter. Put it in a YouTube video where you clearly state what's going to be coming. You know, stuff like that. But if you just put it like up directly on a tweet or directly on an Instagram post, you can say scroll past or whatever all you want, but it's not going to mean people who don't want to see it don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to, you know, try to avoid it. It's going to be impossible to avoid. But I mean, as someone who doesn't really do Twitter right before the event for this reason, especially team member preview up until we're just going to have to extend that for a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
That
from
rule.
2 days to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, so as you could tell, 365 will not be attending this before August 30th. That's for sure. So don't expect that. Um, but yeah, last little bits of the news that dropped. Pass holder perks are involved. Of course, we get some discounts for RIP Tour and private RIP Tour. Premier will get, or I'm sorry, Premier and Preferred will get 10%. Power will get 5% off those discount or of those tours. And other than that, I think that covers the announcement. Was everyone pleased with what we got, even though it wasn't a house or anything additional like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it got the juices flowing for sure. It's set up. I hope we get. I hope we don't have to wait like 2 months for another announcement. I hope we get something coming, within a month or so. But it's definitely started it. It got us all excited, and it got the discussion going. Whether it was very polarizing, but it was fun to see that debate back and forth about it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Too.
Yeah, it is interesting to see what they do because last year this announcement came basically a week before in late March, and then we didn't get our first house announcement till June.
Yep.
If you don't count Chucky, obviously, which they kind of
No.
didn't count Chucky because they did their own announcement later, anyways.
yeah.
So hoping this is more like a May announcement this year, because that 2 month wait was sort of painful and made things kind of drag along as far as HHN excitement went.
Or we get an announcement tomorrow because it's HHN 365.
Exactly. That's not going to happen. We don't have that much power. I'm sorry.
No, I meant as in we're posting an episode, so of course we're gonna get an announcement.
I wish.
That's usually how it works.
Did we want to discuss, or do we just want to wait for that? Like the door thing in the commercial?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Um, I will sum up what I think really quickly. It's going to mean nothing. It might get teased a few more times in marketing because it's a cool thing that makes people wonder, but I don't think there's going to be an icon back there or anything like that. I think it's just a very Horror Nights-esque looking thing. So it's going to be in marketing to start and then probably get fully dropped once we really get ramping up with announcements.
You mean it's not Eddie or Bobby the Blade Stewart?
No.
But it looks like a door, Duff, and those doors were in the house. It doesn't even look like they're fucking doors, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. I don't know if anyone differs from me.
I mean, I completely agree because I think last year was like, with the last year's marketing, I was like, okay, maybe they're teasing like Oddfellow, right? Maybe this is building up to something. Maybe like Horror Nights is finally going to get into the sort of like the interactive marketing, means some more things than just releasing houses or whatever. And I was getting so excited, and then the last thing came out, and it was just something for Exorcist Believer, and then it's like the legend is never go alone. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm not getting fooled by any of these anymore. They mean nothing, and they're always like in my mind, in my like mind currently, they're always gonna mean nothing, and I just need to not look at them at all. I hope one day that changes, maybe this year, but I do not have hope right now.
By all means, HHN, surprise us.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Does anyone have anything else they want to add before we get to voicemails?
Orange, you glad? I don't know.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. All right. So before I play this first voicemail, I just want to let you guys know that I read the transcript and I already know the surprise in it, but I'm very excited to hear you guys hear the surprise. So
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm gonna lead with that.
Hey, it's me. I'm back. We got motherfucking dates. HHN 33. What's up, y'all? I know it's been a minute. Shit's been crazy. But hey, your boy is local now. I'm here. I'm in
Whoa.
Orlando.
There it
No
is.
longer Idaho. I'm ready to meet y'all. I'm ready to kick it. We're going to do big things this year. Shit, man. I'm excited. You already know. They dropped the merch shirts. What do you guys think about them? I fucking love it. Everybody's kind of mixed on it. They be hating on it. I think it's dope as shit. I love that it's got the arches on it, the little skulls, the fact that it's orange. I love orange. I love bright colors. Man, I heard that there's a rumor that we might be getting some weekend songs for a scare zone. You already know, Dabble and Able, we in it. So, yeah, guys, I'm super excited to be back. Another HHN season. Let's get it cracking. Hey, I'm living right above the Half Barrel Beer Project. So guess what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna see y'all on the 13th.
Oh, let's go.
Let's get it, y'all.
Yeah.
I love y'all like I love
Let's
y'all.
go.
You already know.
Duff's
Oh,
new
man.
best friend.
Oh, man.
I read
You guys
that
are gonna hang out at
transcript.
Half Barrel every night.
I read that transcript and I almost messaged y'all, but I was like, I have to keep this a secret. I have to keep it a secret.
That's
Our
a great
guy
surprise.
is here.
I love
Oh
it.
my
I love
God,
it. I
y'all.
love it. Thank you for calling in again, by the way. Obviously, we always love when you call in. So happy that you got out of Idaho. I don't mean that in a bad way, but you said you were excited, so I'm happy for you. Sorry, Idaho. You're going to be at the event. That's awesome. You heard what we said about the shirts, though. Sorry. Yeah.
I don't hate them, but they're just not my thing necessarily. But yeah, no, that's awesome, man. We'll see you at trivia, and we'll see you around Half Barrel. Like we hang out at that place all the time.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now another. We have one more, I think.
Hey guys, my name is Joey from Long Island, New York.
Oh no, where'd he go? Joey, come back.
Joey?
Hey guys, my name is
There we
Joey from Long Island, New York. I just wanted to say I really like your show, and I saw you were asking for opinions on the merch. I really like the new shirts, especially. I like the bright color. I think it's better than just another black T-shirt, which I'm sure there'll be plenty of to buy anyway. But that's just my opinion. Like to change up a little bit, and thanks for the entertaining show. Keep up the good work. Bye.
Thank you, man. Thanks for calling in.
Hey,
Absolutely.
I totally agree. I like the change up. I'm with you there. I like that they're doing something different.
Yeah.
Also, we have one more message, but it's not audio, so I'm just gonna read it. And it's from a member on our Discord, Goulette. And the message is, "Hey gang, these announcements have made my week so much better and made me forget about my wisdom tooth pain for a little while. I wasn't so surprised that HHN will be starting early, but I was very surprised that HHN will be ending so late. We need to treat those scare actors extra well this year. They're doing extra overtime for us. As for the merch, I think it's very neat, but let's not jump to conclusions on what it means for this year. Last year's See You in the Fog preview merch didn't have much bearing on the theming, nor did the Never Go Alone preview merch from 31, besides the overused tagline. As much as I'd like to see this fun, funky theming go park-wide this season, I wouldn't place my bets just yet."
I'm sorry to hear about the wisdom teeth. That shit does hurt.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oof.
yeah.
But we all kind of, I think we all kind of agree with that. We said that before in the episode. It never really sets the tone. If it does this year, that'll be shocking.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree. It's just something fun that they obviously put out, and they already had the grad bash design ready to go, so it was easy to kind of copy over.
Yeah. And thanks for
It could
listening.
have been the other way around.
It could have been, but I doubt it.
Thanks for being part of our Discord, and thanks for listening.
Definitely. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And I think that's it for voicemails / red mails.
Red mail.
Red mails.
Witness protection mails. All right. Well, that was a fun to go over. Hopefully, we have some more news and rumors to talk about next week. As always, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and YouTube at HH7365, and on TikTok at HH7365pod. We have an amazing Discord. The link is in the description, and we have a merch shop to keep an eye on at HHN365.com. You can always leave us a voicemail at 407-906-4134, and we'll see you at Half Barrel Beer Project.